Hi, Mr. Calix here for Mathematicians. I'll be teaching precalculus. We will start with the prerequisites, which are topics that you need to know to understand precalculus. Our first topic is real numbers. We will start by defining what is a real number. A real number is any number that can be written as a decimal. As you see here, we have a table. This table contains three subsets: natural or counting numbers, whole numbers, and integers, which are natural numbers are the counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on. Whole numbers are your counting numbers, but now you include the 0. And the integers would be the counting numbers, the 0, and you include your negative numbers. But in this table, you're missing two very important subsets. Rational numbers are numbers that can be written as a ratio. In other words, they can be written as a fraction. And irrational numbers. A real number is irrational if the decimal form is infinitely and non-repeating. As an example, we have pi. With this, we're going to continue with the next exercise. In the following exercise, find the decimal form for rational numbers. State whether it repeats or terminates. To find the decimal form, we all know that we just have to make a division. So we will start dividing. The negative sign, I will include it at the end, once I'm finished with my division. 37 divided by 8. 8 fits 4 times. I'll make this a little bit longer. 4 times in 37. 8 times 4 is 32. We make a subtraction. You can use your calculator for this also. If you subtract this, it will be 5. Since 5 is less than 8, we all know that we add a 0 and a decimal point. Now, 8 fits 6 times in 50. 8 times 6 is 48. We make a subtraction again. We'll have 2. Again, 2 is less than 8. We add a 0. Now, 8 fits 2 times in 20, which is 16. If we subtract this, it will be 4. We add a 0 because it's less, and we finish it by saying that 8 times 5 is exactly 40. As you see, we do not have any remainder, indicating that 4.625 negative is my final answer as a decimal. Now, it's asking if it terminates or it repeats. And as you can see, because it finishes, it's a terminating decimal. With this, we're going to continue now with the next slide. The next slide is order and interval notation. We will discuss this table. It says, order of real numbers. Let A and B be any two real numbers, where A is greater than B, A is less than B, A is greater or equal to B, A is less or equal to B. What I did is, using the symbols, I read it. Okay? We all should know how to do that. Now, what we have to explain here in this table is when you subtract A and B, for example, when A is greater than B and you make a subtraction of those two numbers, your answer has to be positive. When A is less than B and the subtraction, your answer has to be negative. When A is greater or equal to B, you can have two possible answers, okay? Positive, or it can be a 0. And when A is less than B, it can be negative or a 0. The symbols greater than, less than, greater or equal than, less or equal than are inequality symbols that we're going to be using. Now, continuing with the next table, the trichotomy property. This trichotomy property explains that for any numbers A and B, you may have 3 possible but true answers. A is less than B, A is equal to B, or A is greater than B. With this, we're going to continue with the next slide to solve these exercises. In the following exercises, describe and graph the interval of real numbers. What we're going to do is that we're going to make our graph. It says negative infinite to 7, indicating that we have 7 and we have to move it according to the negative infinite. The negative infinite is indicating that it's moving to the left. The description for this one would be, here you have it. It says all real numbers less than 7. Then we have what we call a compound. It says -2 is less or equal than 5, the x less than 5. Okay, what I do is that I locate 2 points, -2 and 5, and then I start reading them. But I read them by parts. It says -2 is less or equal than x. In other words, x is greater than -2. And it has the equal sign, indicating that it's part of my answer. So we color that circle. And we move to the greater numbers of -2. And then if we make with another color, the other part, x is less than 5, because it doesn't have the equal sign, it's not part of the answer, but it says that x is less, indicating that your answer has to be somewhere between there. Now, if we uncover for our description, we will have that all real numbers greater than or equal to -2 and less than 5. As you can see, it's using -2, but we don't use 5. Now, for the next exercise, which is the last one for this part of the video, it says x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, if we write it, x is greater than or equal to 2. And then x is less than or equal to 6. X is less than or equal to 6. If we locate those 2 points, let's say that our 0 is here. We put 2 and 6 here. It says that x is greater or equal. Okay, this compound includes it, and the numbers that are greater are always to the right. And then it says that x is less or equal. It also includes it, and is to the left. If we find this description now, we will see a little difference from the last compound. It says all numbers between 2 and 6, including 2 and 6. Okay, this will be the first part of the video. I will be uploading 2 parts today. Thank you for watching.